The Grappling Hour is brought to you by Luda athletic support items created by grapplers for grapplers. Fire Grub Meal Prep. Meal prep done right.
Yeah. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what's very nice is when you have so many technical difficulties with a guest that you actually start to feel bad that you've made them come to the show a couple times. But here's the thing that I want you guys to know. Even with these technical difficulties included in the conversation, I still feel very little sympathy for my next guest, and here's why. The main reason I feel very little sympathy is because he promised us the exclusive to come on our show first, and yet I see this slut, this floozy, this two-timing hoe going on and laughing with one Luke Thomas about In-N-Out Burger. And I ask you, Garry Tonon, where the hell do you get off, sir?
Yeah, it's actually just a Five Guys conspiracy. I found out that he likes Five Guys better than In-N-Out, so I decided to go on his podcast instead.
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely going to work with the 10p crowd. The reason why I got so mad about it is that he peppered that question at the end. See, you're an expert at grappling. I'm an expert at these interview things. And he did this, where it was just kind of a non sequitur, where he goes, "Hey, Garry, so tell me, what do you think about In-N-Out?" And then you go, "Oh, I hate it. I hate these Californians when they..." He's like, "Yeah, me too. Who knew that I was going to name a thing like that? We were going to connect. We're friends, right?" And it was the most bullshit transition I've ever seen. And when he's talking about dumb people who don't know any better, and you're just sitting there being like, "Yeah, Mr. Luke Thomas, whatever you say, pal. I just love being on this show." I just thought, what a sellout you are, Garry.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought that was pretty forced. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, where the hell did that come from? Like, what? It confused the hell out of me, but then it made sense afterwards. Obviously, I thought the same thing you did.
I mean, you know, kudos to you and him on your new love and friendship. I'm not going to try and rain on that. I was more so just concerned with the fact that I heard him have a little giddiness as you were just like, "And that's what I believe about Crone and where I stand in MMA." And he's like, "Yeah, totally, me too." And what do you think about burgers? It sounded like the setupness of a girl who's very scared at their slumber party being like, "So which boys do you guys like?" So Garry, I do appreciate you coming on. We've tried to do this a couple times. We've had many technical difficulties, probably because my technology is old. But Garry, I very much appreciate you coming on. Tell us this, man. You said that the game plan was not to go in and take this guy down necessarily that quickly into the fight. But he threw that low kick, and that's when you saw your opening. Was that when you saw your opening happening? Because you said it was just more instinctual, but what was the game plan then?
Well, I mean, I definitely wanted to walk him down. I wanted to smother him. I wanted to essentially make it harder for him to land, like those big strikes from a distance, because that's when it tends to get dangerous from a striking standpoint, is when you're just on the end of people's punches and kicks. So I did want to I was walking him towards the fence, but I wasn't necessarily going to force a takedown if he didn't give it to me. And he kind of gave it to me by throwing that low kick. But at the same time, again, like I said, it was just kind of instinctual. But that was my game plan, was kind of cut off the cage and force him against the fence, and then time his reactions from there, whether it be to take him down or whether it be to strike. I would have probably peppered in some more striking before I tried to take him down, but it was just too easy of an opportunity. I felt like the kick was right there.
did you feel a little sense of disappointment in the sense that did you want to do a little bit of stand-up with him, because you kept putting out these videos being like, yeah, I've been watching videos of this guy and yikes, but to me it's, you know, you're always trying to show that you're a well-rounded martial artist, and it seems like you've taken opportunities in the past to display that, but in this particular case you were like, no, I'm actually kind of content taking this guy down and wearing him out.
I mean, yes and no. Yes, I agree that I did take him down and wear him out, but I still think it's I still think that coincides with your first statement, which is showing that I'm a well-rounded martial artist. I don't know if I put on a grapple box display like I did in that fight in any previous fights, so I still think it's showing a different facet of my game. Now, it just so happens that it has to do with grappling, so people have seen me grapple before, but people haven't seen me grapple and punch people in the face.
It obviously went as well as one could hope for you, in that, like, you found your entry quickly. You were able to stay out of most any kind of danger, which we get excited for over here on this part. But it was more so just that for so many people who know your grappling and your background, and as this sport continues to get bigger and bigger, you get more exposure, it is nice that you're able to display, like, some people might let him back into the fight. And not necessarily on purpose, but it was a really demonstration of control that I think that was kind of refreshing, to being like, oh, hey, guys, Garry still remembers how to grapple. That's good, right?
Yeah. And that was kind of like, I had opportunities to submit him as well, I think, where I probably could have taken his back in a few different occasions, and I chose to just continue to strike while maintaining control. There was also a period of time where, like you said, I probably could have he had an opportunity to get up. Probably right after the takedown, there was a brief separation of bodies, and I had a choice as to whether or not to let him get up or stay head over head and continue to stay on top of him. And I moved forward very quickly and didn't let him up. There was other occasions too where I could have let him scramble away against the fence, and I just decided to hang on and take him back down and continue to pepper the strikes. So, yeah, I think the biggest statement that was made there is just that, like, if I want to control you and hold you down and hit you, there's not going to be a whole lot you're going to be able to do about it.
Mm. And that was good. I mean, you were mentioning, there was obviously a little bit of a cut. What did it feel like that week going back there? Because I talked with you very briefly going into the fight, and, we leave you, and I always feel a little bit bad that you can't eat anything, but I can eat everything. And I want to know, what does it feel like going into that? Because you do have to do the weight cut 3 times, and it seems like other interviewers have a belief that maybe you were helping, and I don't know, I don't want to lead into anything, but saying, like, you're covering up for ONE FC. I mean, that's just what Luke Thomas said.
Yeah, I mean, it's miserable for me, so I can't. I feel like I have no reason to lie about it, but I mean, my students see me get, like, emaciated, and we don't, like you said, it's not a public thing, but I mean, I'm fucking working hard over here to cut weight. I just bought a treadmill and a stationary bike for my gym because I put on a lot of weight since the last fight, and I have another fight coming up really soon. So I didn't unpack them and build them yet, but I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow or the next day, and I'm gonna have to put a little extra work into this weight cut. I don't usually run. I hate running. I ran across country for like 5 years, and that was the end of that. I never really wanted to do it again. I didn't even really like to do it while I was doing it. So,
well, how did you get talked into doing cross country?
So my mom used to do it when she was a kid, and she had, like, suggested it, I think, at some point. I want to say 7th grade was the first opportunity I had to do it. And I was like, all right, I'll give this thing a try. And I pretty much hated it because I wasn't really that big of a fan of running. But, like, I was, like, midway through the season, and she's like, well, you got to like, my mom would always make me finish anything that I started. So she's like, well, you can't quit. And then I guess, like, I just decided to show up again. I don't know. I don't know why.
For 5 years straight.
It's stupid, I guess. I think I had convinced myself that it helped me stay in shape for wrestling season, because wrestling season is the season right after cross country.
Yeah.
I didn't really need to stay in shape, though, because I was like a skin and bones child. Like, I didn't really have much weight to lose.
Gotcha.
So I don't really think it was necessary.
I'll tell you this much.
Yeah, terrible idea.
I had a nice streak in my middle school where I want to say I was growing just a little bit faster than everybody, and I was the fastest kid for exactly 1 year. And then that was very quickly, like, everybody grew past me after that point. But for like that 1 year, I remember being across country. And I remember the real reason I stopped, which was I was doing soccer, I was running all the time. But the thing that pissed me off more than anything was you just ended up where you started. Like, have me run somewhere else and see some things, but most of the time you're just on a field or a track, and by the end of it you're like, what the fuck, like, we're just right back here, this is stupid.
I will say it's a little bit better than running long distance track though, because you literally just go around in a circle. That would kill me.
Yeah.
So whenever I did track in high school, I refused to do any of the long distance runs because I did it for an entire season. I mean, you would think it would make sense, like I'm already prepped and ready to go, but I was like, screw that, I'm tired of it.
Let me figure this out though. Was the bike and, the treadmill suggestions from your own self? Or did someone say like, Gary, you're a little too fat for our taste?
No, I decided it for two reasons. One was that I have to get back in shape very quickly. And the second was what I started to realize is that a lot of the times, one of the only things that I have available to cut weight in these hotels is a stationary bike and a treadmill. So if I get to a point where like a hot bath isn't taking any of the weight off, or like I'm having trouble losing the weight, that's like my only option when I'm exercising, to do like cardiovascular exercise. So I figure that it's probably good to get my muscles used to doing that. Because what I'll notice is if I just run out of the blue and I hadn't ran in like a month or 2 months or whatever, you get like a lot of cramps, a lot of muscle fatigue and that sort of thing. So I'm trying to prevent that.
That's good. I mean, I feel bad in the sense that fat kid to fat kid, this is something you have to do. I mean, it comes with the territory of being a fighter. Yeah. I just know there's a certain sadness of watching civilians even put in treadmills in their house. So I guess my next question is, how quickly does laundry just end up on this thing where it becomes a burner?
Putting it in my gym, but 100%, it's just going to get covered by as soon as I'm like no longer using it, I'll just get covered by gym equipment or whatever the case may be, whatever else I have.
But it seems like they're putting you back to work quickly. How quickly are we talking here? Are we talking May you're fighting?
I'm not allowed to disclose information.
Okay, fine. All right.
I will tell you this, that if anybody was able to connect certain dots, I think they'd be able to figure it out.
All right, fair enough.
I'm not going to connect the dots for them.
Well, that is a very quick. This is a terrible angle for you.
I would say just think about what trips to Asia I may or may not be going on.
Okay, so I can't talk about the date, but I can definitely say you do have a trip that is planned out that way at some point that is being billed as the greatest seminar ever.
I think Gordon specifically said in the universe.
Oh, God.
Not sure how he knows that, but yeah.
There's not some extraterrestrials that are showing off better leg lock entries than you assholes?
Yes. That's going to be the reason that aliens show up to dispute Gordon Ryan's claim that it's the greatest seminar in the universe.
To be fair, though, if we are going to send one person to troll them, Gary, this again, are you tying a shoe right now?
Tying a shoe. I have to get out of the gym.
Okay.
As the gym is closing.
Okay, that's fair. There was a very unnecessary angle in a world filled of Craig Jones doing selfies.
My under hamstring.
There's a lot of angles that I can kind of live with. That one is where I start to go, nah, we're good, dude.
I mean, Craig really messed himself up, though, because he posted the one photo with his butt cheeks, and now, that's what we want, That's what we all expect at this point.
But Craig also...
to me, anything less than that is not enough.
Well, he just put himself in a Speedo, and I just thought, well, here's where we're at in jiu-jitsu, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was impressive. Somebody said they would pay him $100 to wear it at ADCC, and I upped it to $500.
That's pretty good.
I think I'd be willing to pay $1,000 if he was really going to do it. I mean, I wanted to have like Cash Chicks Championships written on it or something, so I could get some promotion out of it at least. But
It just shows what an entrepreneur you are to really make sure you get the branding in there, Gary.
I mean, it's just that's too good of an opportunity to pass up. I'd do it for sure.
Okay, so that is the area that you're talking about with Craig, though. And I do have to ask, it does seem like, did they send you an invite to ADCC?
Yes, I didn't announce it yet, but they did. I'm not 100% sure what's going on yet. I have to talk to One Championship and find out. They'll absolutely let me do it. That's not the question. It's just a question of whether or not it's going to conflict with another event that they would normally have me do. Like, let's say, like, I don't know, it's near the next Japan show and they really want me on that show, then it would make it difficult to do ADCC, you know, because they don't want me getting hurt right before the fight or whatever.
Sure. So
that's
like, do you have a date that you're supposed to tell them by?
Well, tell ADCC.
Mm-hmm.
He wants me to let him know as soon as possible. So I'm discussing it with One now. And then when they get back to me, I will relay that information to them and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
It may be a situation where I'm like tentatively in, and hopefully I get to do it. I want to do it, but yeah.
What a first world problem you have as a grappler now, you know. You gotta figure out your budgeted time between ADCC and potentially not competing there. I mean, would it bug you not to compete in ADCC at this point because now you're so focused on MMA?
Well, it doesn't bug me. I really want to do it just because I haven't won yet. So, I mean, that's kind of a thing that I've always wanted to do. But I spent a decade of my life or more trying to win championships like that. And, I put my all into it, man. And, at this point, I think.
I'm sorry. The thing that made me laugh was just the fact that you forgot how to put on glasses for a split second.
Did I?
And I think that, well, you put them on the opposite way first. You got in your car, you're like, well, Raph, I'm just kind of...
Well, I was doing it with one hand while looking at the camera.
Yeah, but if you do it one hand, you still can be like, oh, hey, Raph, I'm just letting you know, 1 second, I'm putting on glasses. I'm oh, was that so hard? Instead, you have what they do on infomercials where they're like, do you have problems putting on your glasses? Oh, no, what are these doing off my head?
Do you spill your coffee?
Especially the people who are just when they just throw everything all over like that.
Awkward white people fucking up. That's that's me right now.
I will say, I did smudge these up a little bit in doing the bit, but that's how committed to that bit I am. Gary, I mean, obviously it would suck not to have you at ADCC. So, I mean, for those of us who do watch, it would be unfortunate. The hard part is, I think you find with a lot of different individuals, your Lovatos, your guys even like Jacare in the past, are you're torn. You want to be able to commit and go and do the things that you love as a grappler, but if you are all in on the grappling side, there does seem to be some of these hard decisions to make.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. At a certain point, I only have so much time in my life, and I got to pick something. If I keep going back and forth, it's am I ever going to get good at MMA? I don't know.
It's an unfortunate thing that you kind of have to budget for yourself, but the good news is, as long as you're healthy and you're still kind of moving on, and it seems, upfronts will be here. Upfronts are huge. Those aren't in the know. For example, they're going to make at the upfront presentations for TNT that they just did a deal with the new professional wrestling league. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do for 1FC, because it is kind of nice to look on the TV and be like, oh, look, there's that idiot. Good for him. So I would tell people to keep an eye and ear where they could see those sorts of things. Having said that, though, I mean, you're keeping up on the jiu-jitsu news. The big question everybody has is, how soon until we see Keenan in the blue room, in the blue dungeon, down with you guys?
Man, I don't know. I don't really talk to him that much. I think Gordon has a more close relationship with him. I kind of knew that things were probably going to not work out at Atos at some point. I don't think that they ever really meshed perfectly together. I had heard of problems for pretty much since he went there. Just like, obviously rumors, because like I said, I'm not like super close with him or anything. Mostly like third-hand stuff from Gordon, but like I figured he'd just open his own thing eventually anyway. I think he probably stuck around as long as he did because of tough training partners and because probably didn't want to expend the energy to do anything else. It's just like that was probably the most convenient thing to do, was to just stick around. I guess on one side or the other, whether it was Andre or Keenan, I haven't actually read the story if there was any information disclosed. On one side or the other, one of them must have just been like, all right, I had enough of this shit. But I really don't know if he's going to be with us or go somewhere else. I saw a nice meme with him in a 10th Planet rash guard, though. That was
pretty good.
Pretty good.
We did a little post that says, "Hey kids, make your pitch. Tell Keenan why he should come and pick you as the Jiu-Jitsu bachelor." And we got some great response, so I'm very excited to read some of those. What is not exciting, though, is I said, here's your chance. Keenan, he's aware of this meme. He knows it exists. Mm-hmm. So really, kids, really pitch him on why he should choose your gym. Even if you're in bumfuck Idaho, tell him why bumfuck Idaho is the place to be. And instead, we had some people, because people are still dumb, who were like, it's obviously going to be the DDS. And I go, no. This isn't The Price is Right, kids. You don't get a prize for closest to whoever guesses. And more so, you're taking the opportunity to pitch to him and you're losing that. And instead just being like, I'm going to guess where he is because I've seen him in that room and I know him and Gordon are super close. And obviously Gary's like his best friend. So like, that's where he's going to go.
So they ruined your game.
Well, they tried to, but the internet can't hold me down for too long. So I guess the idea is that if he does come there, what is the first thing you would say to him if he did show up there in y'all's room?
Okay. So first, I want to address one thing that people are probably not considering. I think people underestimate how terrible it is to live in New York, and they also underestimate how awesome it is to live in California. And I don't know if they're factoring that in to their thought process and whether or not Keenan would actually move out to New York and train. Maybe he would go there for a month or a couple months. I can't imagine coming, because I've never lived in Southern California before. I've been there on trips, and it's awesome. It's hard to leave when I go there on trips. I can't imagine being cultured into living in California for several years, then coming to New York and being like, oh, yeah, this is your new home now. I'd be like, is there a noose around somewhere where I could just end it all? Are you kidding me? I have to deal with this freezing cold air and these terrible, terrible people that are just miserable all day long. Like, this commuting, it's just awful. Anyway, I think they're not thinking about that. So I highly doubt that he would move to train with us permanently. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he cares about jiu-jitsu that much that he'd ruin his whole life to come train with us. The first thing I would say to Keenan, to further answer your question, if he came to train with us and he was like, yeah, I'd really like to train with you guys permanently, I'd be like, hey, Keenan, do you remember that time when you were training in Lloyd Irvin's and you sent me a Facebook message and you were like, hey, Gary, you should really come train with us because you want to be the best. Got to train with the best. Because I remember, and I think about it a lot. But anyway, that's the first thing that I would say. I just think it would be funny. I think it's kind of ironic if he ends up training with us permanently that was once said to me via Facebook message.
To be fair, that gets it out of everybody's system. It addresses what's in the air, and it's just like, and now welcome. Just come on over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting time where all of us were, I don't know, a lot of people like to play. You mentioned if there was an article ascribed to it. There was no article. Flow Grappling just goes, Keenan said I'm leaving. Probably because something happened. We don't know what it is. Exclusive. So that's not a real article.
Wait, you mean BJJ Eastern Europe didn't jump on it and just make something up like they usually do?
The amount of times that we, as a small community, I'm sure, look at different articles and go, "Oh Jesus, is that a thing? Did somebody write that?" At that point, it's not even a byline; it's just somebody's Instagram that they just reposted. That's essentially what we got with Keenan's announcement.
You know, I was thinking about starting I obviously wouldn't be able to do it full time because I just don't have time. But I was thinking about starting like an Onion for jiu-jitsu news. But like then I realized that that's pretty much BJJ Eastern Europe.
Yeah, you know, so. I do occasionally buy websites that I don't necessarily plan on using. But I bought the rights to nograppling.com. And I just said, like, I had the same epiphany where I go, yeah, nograppling.com. It's like flow grappling articles, but written. Nah, they already kind of do that. But then I had already bought the fucking website, and I just go like, well, I don't know what this is for, but I think what we're really doing, and we tested this out this year, but we gave out the verbal tap tappies because we see everybody like actually jockeying for position to win this Oscar of grappling, the Flow Grappling Awards, and you're always like, why are people campaigning for this? Like, it's just so awkward to see people being like, go vote for my submission, and I'm like, does it matter? Do we see the results? Have they already not picked half of these? So the pomp and circumstance makes me laugh because these are the same people if you go to the gym who are like, I don't watch the Oscars, but I did vote for Gordon Ryan's fucking submission. Yeah, because that was cool. So, well, anyway, one of these days maybe we'll combine our efforts to have someone else carry out an idea neither you or I really feel like doing, but we know is a good idea. It's just
that's a good idea.
Someone else do it because we've got too much on our collective plates. But just keep us aware of what's happening. Is I guess what's going on there. And did you ever get any notice back from Dylan? Because it seems like Dylan, you know, you said a nice couple things about him on, you know, the MMA Hour, and it just made me think, you know, Dylan probably heard that, and I think when you get behind the facade of it all, the fact that you know exactly what he is trying to do to provoke these things, and you're just like, oh yeah, I don't care. He's just trying to shit stir, and it's working for him. Did you get any feedback on that?
I think I saw an interview of his later on where, like after my interview, that's where he said something to like, oh yeah, like I hope he does well, whatever. I think that was the first time I ever heard him say anything like that in an interview. So maybe him hearing me say nice things changed his mind about, you know, shit stirring, but I doubt it. I'm sure he'll post some video where he's, you know, he thinks he's kicking my ass at some point in the future.
When the time's right. We're just going to make like maybe I should make with the walls here, like a Venn diagram of who hates who. And just be like, oh, hey guys, no, Dylan is back in the Garry corner, okay? But we are all firmly against the AJ corner over here. So just as long as you know where the chess pieces lie, that's what we're going to start setting up on.
There's going to be a lot of arrows drawn to one or two particular areas. That's for sure.
I mean, the nice part about it is, I feel like, do you get this sense though? Do you get the sense of when all of this is going on and you see all these youngsters going at each other? Do you feel like you've become some sort of old vet being like, oh, I remember talking about that one guy's mom. I remember the war of 2013 on social media, kids. It was a good time. Gather around. Uncle Gary's going to tell you a story.
Yeah, for sure. I still think we did it best. I think Gordon has his own way, I guess. He's doing okay. Some people it's rough to watch. It really is. But I mean, I think it was ultimately a good thing. I think people take themselves a little less seriously, which is all in all my general vote of confidence for everybody is just kind of like, I mean, relax. So, you know, the thing, did you see the photo I posted of Dustin Poirier?
Which one?
The one where he's getting belted and it looks like he's like,
yeah.
So, like somebody posted like, yeah, by the way, he would KO you in like under a round. And I was like, yeah, well, I hope so. I mean, he has like 30 fights or more experience and I've literally had 4 fights. But and he's like, well, why are you talking shit about it? I'm like, it's a funny photo, man. I was like, I'm like, I hope he doesn't have the same sense of humor as you, or I'm gonna be in trouble. Like,
no, I do get
really?
this. You know what's funny is I just pulled up the photo over on my phone, and I'll put it up on the thing. I just like the fact that Instagram makes sure that I know that is the comment I see. It is literally like just, oh, here's the photo, here's your description and your couple of hashtags, and Ricky J93, Dustin would KO you within a round. I mean, Dust. I'm sorry, Ricky. I don't know you personally. I don't get this. I don't get the idea of the shit stirring when all you said was the real reason Khabib jumped out of the octagon before he was belted was to avoid a picture like this. That's a pretty good joke because
it looks like an awkward photo. Like, dude,
it looks like it's just short of somebody putting brazzers right underneath it. Because
100%.
It's just, it looks like Dana White. How I imagine he tries to have somebody zip him into his suit before he gets out there. But it looks like he's fixing like a brassiere or a bustier kind of a thing, like a little corset, and then all of a sudden you just see a look on his face with pure rage and aggression. And any normal person looked at this. I saw that go up and I go, okay, I've got maybe 10 minutes before I beat the internet on this one. So I either have to come up with a good meme and then you look down and you go, Drew's already got it. I'm not going to touch it. So for me, it's kind of like when I woke up this morning and I saw, Craig Jones in a Speedo and I go, oh shit, I got 5 minutes. Hold on. I got mine first. And then next thing you know, I see somebody, like, I think it was Happy Rolling BJJ that just goes, damn, you're fast. And I was like, fuck you, take that. I'm out. Take that, Craig Jones. Don't fuck Craig Jones. That's the new hashtag. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand where the people have the time to get this angry with individuals like you. I mean, you've definitely said dumber and stupider things in the past, but I think that's pretty funny. So
yeah, I don't know. I thought I kept it as like not. It wasn't really an attack at all. Like so much so that like one championship like doesn't like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like you can't like talk shit about people. And like so like I'm mindful of that. And like nobody reached out to me and said like, oh man, that wasn't cool. You know, shouldn't have done that.
So Gary, as we wind down, I don't know much about your upcoming fight. We can make some assumptions, but who are we? BJJ Eastern Europe? No, we're better than that. I just want to relay a couple things here. Number one, we obviously say congratulations. It's always great when we get to see you win, but it's more impressive when you do it in a time that is convenient to me being up, because I almost didn't watch it. I was on the fence on if I was going to stay up, and then I saw it was only midnight here, and I go, I can swing that. And you made a number of people very happy with that. Number two, can you do us a solid? Because, again, we don't know when your next fight is. Could you not, please, for the love of God, fight with your goddamn cell phone in your back drawstring? Because the internet is confused that you gave a bullshit answer to Luke Thomas, but I need a real answer right here. Is that really your cup, or were you really fucking fighting with your cell phone in your back pocket? Oh, man.
I think it's gonna have to remain a mystery, dude. I don't think. I think if I answer that for real, it's just I've given two different answers, and you're confused. The world's confused, and I think I should just leave it at that. It's more dramatic that way.
I know what I saw, and I know how I saw it, and then I see you being like, "Oh, guys, it's my drawstring," and I'm thinking to myself, "That's some drawstring there, kid. Can you get somebody to work on that a little bit?" And you go on Luke, and I know you want to pressure him around because, he doesn't really know who you are. He's read a couple things. When he says he's been to your seminar, it's the best one he's ever been to, that was like 10 years ago. Okay, clearly he's not been to enough seminars. So when he's sitting there and telling you and just being like, oh, cool, tell me a story, and then you do this razzle-dazzle story of being like, and that woman and that guy was Dylan. And everybody goes, yay! You do the fucking aristocrats? Not here, not on my show. You do that to the other fucking garbage house. You don't do that shit to me. And so that's why.
It it could have happened to you because you would have asked that same question on your show, and I would have given the same answer.
I'd think you also know.
I could have played you instead of him, and because I went on his show first, I played him.
Yeah, it's a nice recovery. Although I also think that there are two levels of familiarity with Luke and myself in regards to you. And I think that Luke is still a little more enamored with your whatever you do. And I think that we're at a place now where don't fucking no. Especially the way this comes across as being half cross-eyed. I don't really think your fucking mango-ness is going to come across.
Careful, I have been known to be the Harry Potter of BJJ. So
I have said that joke, so that's fair. I just want you to know, I think you know the reaction that Luke gave you is not quite the one that I would give you, especially in the same episode where you go, doing seminars is a lot like doing stand-up comedy. And I was like, do tell, Gary. And then the best part was...
I knew I was going to get attacked. I knew.
You see, I know that I'm in your head because I know on internet television when you're answering them, you're like, well, Luke, it's very much like stand-up. Maybe I don't know a lot about this. Maybe I shouldn't speak in this. I don't know. I'm not a stand-up comic. What do I know? And I just thought, good recovery, Gary.
I thought it was. I had just been to a couple stand-up shows recently before that, so it was the first thing that came to my mind when I was thinking about a situation where people travel a lot and don't particularly necessarily make a lot of money doing it. I don't know.
No, it was great. There was nothing more I love than watching you go for a split second.
In my head, I was like, "Fuck, you literally don't know what you're fucking talking about. You're not a stand-up comedian, so you can't really say that it's like that at all." So I don't know. I waffled hard.
It's like you went on some sort of weird agriculture show and you go, "Man, agriculture, that's funny. I don't know a lot about agriculture, but I know it's just like stand-up comedy." Wait, not sure. Don't quote me on this. Is this going out live? But nothing made me happier because then it was in the moment where I'm sitting there and I'm looking at a text from you that just goes, "Hey, I'm doing the MMA hour first." And I go, "Okay." Hang up the phone, look at your interview and go, "Let's see what he's going to do without me then." And I go, Foolish Gary. Foolish. You got what you deserved right then and there. So
yeah,
I felt like that was it. So could you please just promise us you're not fighting with your phone in your goddamn back pocket? That'd be great.
We'll see, man. I'm a busy guy. Gotta make calls and texts, let the world know what's going on.
I mean, there's already NBA players who are checking out mentally and playing on their cell phones, and it doesn't bode well for your ADHD that you can't even take your phone away from you for 2 seconds. Gary, I'm concerned. I thought that 1FC really thought they were getting a true scholar and gentleman in when Garry Tonon, and you proved them very wrong on so many occasions. Anyway, Gary, again, it's lovely catching up with you because... Again, there are so many people who do stay up late, who do get the opportunities to watch you and are very excited for that. And whatever the next opportunity is, I don't know if it's happening super soon. Could be, I don't know, a few weeks away. Could be in a few months. For all we know, it could be one at ADCC time. We just don't know because he's an impenetrable wall of cannot break him right now. But I just want to say we look forward to whatever the next thing is, my man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the response you have for that?
Well, I was gonna say something afterwards. I need you know how I work, man. My brain doesn't comprehend things fast enough, so I have to make shit up in the interim so that I have more time to think about whatever it is that I'm gonna say. All right, you've had this conversation with me before.
I have.
You know what I think about such and such. I need that little. So I just go, and that was my filler in that moment.
Me.
Man.
That was me being like, Gary, here's the part where after roasting you, you finish and you go, "Hey guys, but Don Rickles is a really good guy, okay? Everybody, Don Rickles. Don Rickles doesn't just go, like Don Rickles laughs his ass off or says, hey, thank you, fuck you too. You know, you're the guy who's just literally there being like, Gary's a good guy. We love watching you fight. Gary goes,
I had to think about what I was going to say, man.
Okay. Have you had your time?
Now I'm totally distracted, but thank you for all your kind, generous, disingenuous words, Ralph. I really
to be
appreciate
fair,
it.
though, if you would have started with that as your response, I would have been like, brilliant, good, and cut. But now I got to do that stupid thing where I go, we've already said goodbye, but name your goddamn sponsors now so they can fucking get their money's worth.
Oh, my God. These poor sponsors. I'm pretty open for sponsorship now, by the way, guys. Could contact me via many mediums. Cash Chicks Championships, my own brand, Chimera Coffee, and Armbar Soap. That's all we got right now. So, I mean, drink up some coffee and wash yourself off with some Armbar Soap so you don't get, staphylococcus on your face. And I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce it. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
I think you actually did on that one. I'm kind of proud of you.
Yeah, thanks. And, Studio 540, too. Yeah, hang out there in beautiful San Diego. Train.
Absolutely.
It's a good time.
Well, that's great stuff. And just so you guys know, if you do want to get sponsored by Gary, that is kind of a prime time to get in on it because the 1FC TNT relationship is just starting to blossom. That's the thing. They're starting to blossom.
Blossom? Bloom?
The hard sell for you is really it's difficult to do because I'm actually trying to put you over and it like my instincts are fighting me at every turn to be like, no, fucking don't help him. I'm just telling you this right now. TNT has a large reach, and the more that you get in on it right now, the more opportunities you get to be seen, and more importantly, you know that Gary is so dumb he'll probably keep his phone on the very board shorts he's using while fighting in the cage. So think about that.
Just so I can promote your brand.
Exactly.
Immediately after the fight. That's how committed I am to you.
That's right. He will.
Not you, Ralph. I'm talking to.
No, I know who you're talking to. I'm trying to help you. I just want to make sure that people know that he will go viral for all the wrong reasons, and that will give you a great return on investment, or ROI for those in the field. And again, I just want to say, Gary, it's never too soon that we get the opportunity to go ahead and run into each other. And I thank you very much for your time here today. And I mean, essentially last week and probably the week before that when we were trying to set this up, I told my wife this where I go, I would actually feel way worse if this was anybody but Gary. I think Gary's the one person where I was just kind of like, I'm fucking really mad right now. Just you wait. Hold on. So anyway, thank you for showing up, Gary. We very much appreciate it.
No problem, man. Appreciate it. This time I didn't say So, thanks, man. It's always fun to be on.
Absolutely.